Good morning, everyone. Today I will be presenting the Jade team findings for security and efficiency utilizing blockchain. First, our team would like to thank each of you for being here and allowing us the opportunity to help continue to make improvements to our organization. These improvements are based on a recent data security interruption as well as last quarter's supply chain SLA report. As you know, our manager, Mr. Smith, asked us to investigate a new technology, blockchain, to assess its ability to resolve or improve both our data security and supply chain SLAs. Resolving and improving both opportunities have the potential to not only save our organization capital, but also to help us make more of it. And now I'd like to discuss our opportunities. As mentioned during our introduction, we had a data security interruption as well as concerns over the last quarter's supply chain SLA report. So in May, we did have a security breach where our organization became a victim of ransomware. Ransomware is a type of malicious software designed to block access to a computer system until a sum of money is paid. The impact of this most recent occurrence resulted in a significant loss of capital. Without taking action to enhance our security opportunities, we could be leaving ourselves vulnerable to another such breach. This highlights the significant need for security enhancements within our organization. Our next opportunity would be our supply chain SLA. Our most recent quarterly SLA reports reflected a continued issue with meeting our end user expectations. The current SLA results were directly related to the impact on the supply chain due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Without enhancements to our SLAs, our organization will continue to fall behind on delivering our products to our customers as expected. If this were to continue, we could potentially lose customers to our competitors. Now, before we get into exactly what blockchain is, let's review the evolution of the platform that it's being housed on, Web 3.0. In version Web 1.0, it was built as a basic read structure with the information flowing in one direction, from the business to the user. While free, public, open, and basically borderless, the interaction was mostly limited with content and was read only for the most part. Unlike version Web 1.0, Web 2.0 was built to be a two-directional information stream. It was both business to consumer and consumer to business, making the information interactive and shareable without the need for any additional software. This is where Facebook emerged. Web 3.0 offers a read, write, and own platform, the primary difference being changes in ownership, governance, and control. Web 3.0 processes and categorizes information that can be shared and understood by any device across networks, thus creating blockchain technology and an immersive user experience. So, what is blockchain? Well, blockchain is a distributed ledger technology that allows for secure, transparent, and tamper-proof transactions. Blockchain is the internet of value. If we think of the internet as a platform for sharing information, which over time has become free, scalable, nearly instantaneous, and reasonably trusted, then we can think of blockchains as a platform for sharing value or things of value. In lieu of companies housing data, blockchain decentralizes users' data, leading to a much stronger security compared to its predecessor, Web 2.0. The benefit and unique source of strength for this decentralized security is that it scales with something called Metcalfe's law, which we'll discuss on the next slide. Metcalfe's law states that every time you add a new user to a network, The number of connections increases proportionally to the square of the number of users. The law says the value of a network is proportional to the square of the number of nodes in the network. It correlates to blockchain because the larger the number of users and activity, the more dependable, secure, and valuable blockchain becomes. And now we'll talk about some of the features of blockchain. There are a lot of exciting new features being developed as we speak, but there are several features that are already available that we can utilize right now. The first of those would be the decentralization of the data. With decentralization, data is no longer consuming server space on a single server. This enables users to govern permissions on their data rather than the businesses. Data isn't controlled by a single entity. It is stored across multiple nodes participating in the network. The data is then viewable by all participants on that chain, and this decentralization of data makes it much more difficult to be targeted for hacking or for the data to experience corruption. The data is logically centralized onto one ledger, but that ledger is organizationally decentralized. For the ledger to be altered, more than half of the nodes would need to be compromised. This is referred to as a 51% attack, and we will discuss this later. The second feature would be connectivity. We can utilize connectivity improvements to connect not just the people, but smart devices like phones, watches, and refrigerators to make life easier and more comfortable. Connectivity is designed to make life easier, more comfortable, and more secure. The third feature would be semantic web. We can shift more towards a semantic web that links data across web pages, documents, applications, and data sources. This enables enhancements in planning, analysis, and collaboration in an organization's supply chain. For example, the ability to have real-time availability dates for materials needed for production of goods and services. Consensus mechanisms ensure all participants in the network agree on the validity of transactions. Cryptographic techniques, algorithms encrypt data and make it unreadable to unauthorized users. Smart contracts are self-executing codes of agreements between buyer and seller, which automatically are verified and implemented. These contracts are encrypted, tamper-proof, and irreversible. This makes the data difficult to be hacked or for it to become corrupted. And now we'd like to discuss pitfalls. So, no technology is without risk. And the risk with utilizing blockchain within our supply chain's infrastructure is scalability. For our blockchain to be most effective for our organization, we will need all of our suppliers and business partners to utilize blockchain within Web 3.0. If they fail to do this, it can open our supply chain management to additional impacts and restrains our service level agreements. So for our organization to minimize any of these risks with scalability, we need to develop an adoption strategy with all our suppliers and business partners. We can share the benefits that all will receive by adopting this technology. Additionally, adoption should start at the simplest parts of our supply chain so we can more easily track the progress and integration with our business partners. And now we're going to discuss the technology impact and how blockchain can impact our opportunities. Focusing more on the security and the supply chain challenges previously mentioned, there are multiple reasons that we should be considering blockchain-based solutions for those areas of our business. Number one will be the decentralized structure of blockchain security, and that it eliminates the so-called honeypot hack. meaning that instead of our data being in one place for cyber criminals to focus their attacks on, decentralized ledger technology spreads our data across a network of protected nodes. For criminals to access and alter our data, they would need to be able to execute what is called the 51% attack, which we previously mentioned. This means that they simultaneously must hack and modify more than 51% of the computers on our network. Large networks like ours produce especially difficult targets. Number 2 would be the immutable transaction history recorded within blockchain software. This can provide provenance and tracking capabilities far beyond our current capacity. This would help in identifying sources of defective materials, and tracking this down previously took hours or even days. With blockchain, that information is recorded within the provided material code and is accessible in minutes. On top of that, we can instantly generate a list of every component impacted by that defective material. Information access, like I've just described, will be key to unclogging our supply chain and improving our customer experience. And now we'll discuss our team's conclusions on blockchain for our company going forward. Blockchain shares value across the company to our suppliers and business partners through its features. The decentralization feature from blockchain allows data and information to be accessed through the company while empowering security by decentralization. By creating multiple nodes for information, blockchain can limit the damage of cyber attacks. Connectivity, linking all people and devices throughout the company to provide a more comfortable and accessible experience. The semantic web. This connects data across web pages, documents, and data sources by permitting advancement into planning and analysis in our supply chain. The main limitations that we're going to be seeing with this is scalability. The drawback here is the requirement for all of our business partners and suppliers to utilize blockchain. To avoid this issue, we can lean into blockchain and create a strategy for the company to slowly and entirely utilize its connectivity. And now we'd like to make our recommendations for enhanced security. Based on our team's analysis, we recommend utilizing the advantages of blockchain technology to enhance our data security at Jade Manufacturing. We've identified several companies already offering these services, such as Hypernative, CertiK, Chainalysis, and Consensus Diligence. We recommend engaging with these companies for an initial consultation on developing a secure, decentralized blockchain network for our organization. Additionally, we would like to recommend a similar approach to create more efficiency within our supply chain structure. Some of the largest and most recognizable companies in the world have already integrated blockchain technology solutions into their supply chain. Amazon Managed Blockchain from Amazon and Azure Blockchain Workbench from Microsoft are some of the more established products in this field. However, we should not write off potential partnerships with emerging supply chain companies like SyncFab, Everledger, and SkuChain. These companies are making serious breakthroughs in supply chain security and automation, and those breakthroughs could be used to serve our needs here at Jade Manufacturing. We want to thank you all so much again for allowing us the opportunity to present our findings. We'd like to open the floor now for any questions, and afterwards we will continue to display our final slide with our references. Here's our final slide with references. Please feel free to write them down or screenshot them if you desire.